welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting day because we are doing another 24-hour reading vlog. I had so much fun doing my reading vlog in August and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so we're gonna do another one. So it is September currently, and once again, much like my August 24-hour reading vlog, I realized I haven't really read much this month, and I don't know why. So this next 24 hours is gonna fix that. So it is currently almost 2 o'clock on a Saturday, and I will be going from 2 o'clock today till 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So first things first though, I have a couple things to pick up from the library, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now because I might end up reading like one or two of the graphic novels that are ready to pick up in this vlog. So I'm basically going to be reading only like thriller, horror, spooky-ish things in this vlog because it's September and it's spooky season. So let's go. I'm going to go to the library and I'm going to grab a coffee and I'll just take you with me, I guess, because why not? Hello. So just picked up my books. I thought I might as well do my little library haul in the car, just to get a little bit of change of scenery, you know? I have 4 graphic novels and a regular book. So aside from the regular book, all of my graphic novels are contenders for this readathon's TBR. So first up is Pumpkinheads by Rowell. I read this in 2019 and I just really love it. It's like the ultimate like Halloween vibes kind of thing, and I mean graphic novels are ideal for 24-hour readathons, but I don't know, I love it. But I do have it checked out for 3 weeks, so I might save it for October for like ultimate Halloween vibes, but we'll see. And then I have Ghoul Volume 1, and I feel like I read Volume 1 a couple years ago, like digitally, and I never stuck with it, but I do remember liking it, but surprise, surprise, I have no idea what the plot's about, so, because I don't remember, but I mean, I know this kind of has like some spooky vibes to it, so I was like, this would be fun as well. So the next one I'm very excited for already. Like, it's a gorgeous book, like the aesthetic of it like exactly. Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a graphic novel and I think it's like a super quick read. Like I could read it in like 10-15 minutes. So yeah, but can we just like, it has like the old book kind of like fabric, and on the back it says I want your love, and then crossed out it says blood, and I mean that cover is just something. Has black sprayed edges. If I like it, I think it's gonna go straight to my Christmas list because it's just a whole vibe and I love it. So I definitely think I'll be reading this as well. And then my last graphic novel I got is one that I read, I think, in 2018. I think it's actually one of the first things I checked out from the library once I got a card in my current city. And I've just been thinking about it ever since, and I never see anyone talk about it. And that is Thornhill by Pam Smye. And it is mainly pictures. It has some words in it, but it's mainly kind of like the invention of Hugo Cabret, where it's mainly told through pictures. So the back says, an orphan faces a bully alone and plots her revenge. Years later, a girl catches glimpses of a figure in the window of a burned out and abandoned old house and begins to unravel the mystery of Thornhill. It's gorgeous, and I remember there were some like drawings and stuff that were super creepy, and like it's just kind of like a suspenseful thriller kind of vibe. And I'm just really excited. I'm so excited to be reunited with this book again. I'm sure this is the copy I checked out a couple years ago, but yeah, again, this might end up on my Christmas list too because Ugh, it's just so good. So those are my 4 graphic novels, and then I checked out Hello from Here, and I forget who I saw talking about this, but this is a new release, and I'll just read you the inside cover because why not? Maxine and Jonah meet in the canned goods aisle just as California is going into lockdown. Max's part-time job as a personal grocery shopper is about to transform into a hellish gauntlet. Jonah's pre-existing anxiety is about to become an epic daily struggle. As Max and Jonah get to know each other through FaceTime dates, socially distanced playground hangs, and the escalating heartbreaks of the pandemic, they're pushed apart by what they don't share and pulled closer by what they do. As thoughtful, probing, and informed as it is buoyant, romantic, and funny, Hello from Here cuts across differences in class, privilege, and mental health, all thrown into stark relief by the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's a novel that looks at the first 2 months of the quarantine and adds falling in love to the mess. So, very excited about this. This is like a 300-page YA contemporary, so it's going to be a quick read. I don't think I'll read it for this readathon, just because I'm really in like a spooky kind of thriller horror vibe, but I am really excited to get to this. I know some people don't want to read any fiction like related to the COVID pandemic, which is totally valid, but I am intrigued at some books that are coming out now about that. So anyway, I'm just hoping it'll be cute and like poignant, and yeah, so that's my haul. I'm gonna go grab my coffee and then I will check back in with you when I get home, and we will finalize this TBR and I will start reading. Okay, bye. All right, we are back. I am very much in the reading mood. Like, I just want to read everything. Everything sounds good, but I think I'm just gonna really play it by ear. I don't think I'm gonna have as much of a set TBR as I did for my August readathon. The one that I think I'm gonna start with, because I've been really wanting to read it, is The Taking of Jake Livingston. I think I found out about this through an Instagram post that Chanel made. I will link her channel below, but she had done like a sponsored post, I think before this even came out, with Penguin Teen, and after reading Horrid by Katrina Leno, and it being just like an immaculate spooky horror thriller YA, I have been searching for more spooky horror thriller YA, and this just seems really good. So this story follows Jake, and Jake is in high school and he is a medium, so he can like interact with ghosts, and it sounds like at his high school in the past there was a school shooting and the shooter killed students and then killed himself, and this ghost is kind of stalking Jake. Somehow Jake got wrapped up into this ghost's like business. That's all I know. Obviously, school shooting, very heavy topic, so I'm interested to see like if this book's kind of heavy or if it's, you know, just more of like a fun spooky time. I don't know, but it is very short. It's about 250 pages, and I checked it out from the library like 2 weeks ago, and I've just been dying to read it. So I'm definitely going to start with this one. Also, Ryan Douglas. Their bio is, Ryan Douglas was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, where he currently resides, cooking pasta and playing records. He enjoys wooden wick candles, falling asleep on airplanes, and advocating for stronger media representation for queer Black people. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is going to be first, and then I have decided for sure, because why wait, I will be reading Fangs in this reading vlog. Audiobook-wise, because I do want to have an audiobook going. My audiobook really isn't like horror thriller related at all, but I have still been listening to Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I'm 76% done, so I can definitely finish that in the next 24 hours. And then if I do, we'll figure out another audiobook. So that's something I will be reading as well. And then I'll just briefly touch on my other options once I'm done with The Taking of Jake Livingston. So I am 22% of the way done with Final Girls by Riley Sager. I've been reading that before bed at night, and it's good. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm probably more in the fast-paced, like, YA mood. So we'll see, but that's an option because I've really been loving it so far. It's following mainly this one like final girl who's known as a final girl because she was like the last survivor of this like murder. And yeah, it's really good so far, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. I also have Your Next, which is one that I picked up, as you can see, from a Barnes & Noble sale a couple months ago. It is a YA thriller, and our main character goes out to get like revenge for all these girls who have died in the past and their killers haven't been caught or like found out yet. So that sounds super intriguing. The font is so big. So this could be a really quick read potentially. So those are kind of my options. We're gonna start with The Taking of Jake Livingston because I am tired of waiting. This cover is just stunning and everything about it just screams like spooky season. So yeah. It is about an hour and a half later. By the time I started reading, it was like a little after 3, so it's like 4:45 right now, and I am a third of the way through The Taking of Jake Livingston. I am on page 85, and I'm really liking it so far. It's not like gripping me, like it's not like I'm sucked in and it's a page turner. But it does have really like consistent pacing. The only thing I'm a little bit confused about is the timeline. Right off the bat, I do want to say this book definitely has trigger warnings for suicide attempts, suicidal ideation, things like that. So be careful with that. There's also physical abuse. So definitely has some hard-hitting topics. It also touches a lot on issues of race. So Jake is the only black student in this very like white school and white area, and so there's like a lot of racism involved with that and microaggressions and things like that. So the thing that I'm confused about is every couple chapters we have a diary entry from the person who was the school shooter. And it's confusing me because, well, first of all, contrary to what I said before I started reading this book, the shooting, it doesn't seem like happened at Jake's school. I think it was another school in the area. You know what? I literally just figured it out. The thing that I was about to say I was confused about, I literally just figured it out. So the deal is, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in like the first 20 pages, obviously Jake can see ghosts, ghouls, demons, all things like that. On his way home from school, sees like an ambulance and police outside of his neighbor's house, and his neighbor's son, who I think had graduated high school like the previous year, was a survivor in the school shooting that the shooter, like the ghost of the shooter, caused. And so that teenager was found dead. And so it's bringing up a lot about like the school shooting, because it's like, oh, survivor of the school shooting found dead. And now Jake is being haunted by the ghost of the school shooter. But it's interesting because there's diary entries from the school shooter. His name's Sawyer. I don't want to keep saying school shooter. From Sawyer. And it's like weirdly kind of like feels like we're supposed to feel sorry for him a little bit. And school shootings are, like, I remember the first time I saw footage from Columbine, like, just horrifying, and something that always, like, caused me anxiety as a kid in school, and something, obviously, like, as someone who's gonna have their teaching credential next year, like, it's a very relevant and prevalent issue. So anyway, it's definitely a very hard-hitting topic in this book, but it's just weird that we get this guy's perspective, because, like, I hate him. And I think we're supposed to hate him. It's just weird because we do get some information on him that, like, does, like, yeah, he had a bad life, like, things like that. But I'm like, that doesn't excuse the fact that he brought a gun to school, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, that aspect's a little bit odd, but I really like Jake as a character. So, it's good so far. It's just really different. Like, I didn't really know what it was gonna be, so I can't say that, like, it met or didn't meet my expectations. But it's definitely mixing, like, horror, spookiness with, like, hard-hitting topics really well, I think. You know, I love a good YA hard-hitting contemporary, and so it's cool to have, like, some themes that are usually brought up in those kind of books in, like, a horror book, you know? So, anyway, that's where we're at with that. I am going to keep reading, I think, for maybe another hour, and then eat dinner, and then probably read Fangs, because I'm so excited for Fangs. I really hope I like it, because I keep talking about, I'm, like, already convinced I'm gonna love it, even though it's like, I haven't read it yet, so who knows. Hello, it is about an hour later. I am now on page 149, which, according to Goodreads, is like 60% of the way through. And it's interesting. I am enjoying it. I think it's like a 3-star. There is a romance in this that I'm very much enjoying. I ship them so hard. And I don't know, it's just, some of the action sequences are a little bit weird. Like, Jake astral projects a lot, basically every night, and just the descriptions of that can be a little bit confusing. And there was this huge, like, fight sequence that was, like, by far the longest chapter in this book so far, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, it had like a cheesy kind of like Ghostbusters meets the Avengers kind of feel to it, which, like, really didn't seem to fit with the rest of the book, like with the vibes of the book, or like even the action sequences of the book. I think the description and everything, it's just very visual. The ghost of Sawyer who's haunting him, like, can project like weird wraith things, and there's just a lot of like imagery and like explanation of like visual like ghosty things, but it's almost too much to the point where I'm just like, I wish this was a movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost as if it's written to be seen and not read, some of these astral projection parts. So anyway, I'm still liking it. It's just not like, you know, the most gripping thing I've ever read, but I am enjoying it, and the vibes are there, you know? So I am going to take a break, eat dinner, and probably watch some booktube while I eat dinner, and then I think I'm gonna come back and read Fangs, and then finish The Taking of Jake Livingston, because I only have like 90 pages left of it. Alright, it is like 7 p.m. I've gotten in my pajamas because it's literally never too early to get in your pajamas, and I'm gonna read Fangs really quickly, and I'm really excited. This book is just gorgeous. I know I've already complimented it a million times, but I really hope it's good, or else that's gonna be awkward. Surprise, surprise, I loved it. It's just a super cute, wholesome, funny romance between a vampire and a werewolf, and I loved it. I need my own copy. Look at it. So cute, so cute. So glad I read it. 5 out of 5 stars. Exactly. All right, I am going to read some more of The Taking of Jake Livingston. Like I said, I have about 90 pages left, so I think I'm just gonna read until my husband gets home from work, and we'll see how much I get through, and then we'll figure out what to read next. So it is currently a little past midnight. I'm talking a little bit quietly because my husband is asleep, but I thought I'd share some updates. About maybe 2 hours ago, I finished The Taking of Jake Livingston, and I think I'm gonna give it a 3. There were some aspects of it that I really liked, like all of the discussion about like racism and privilege and things like that. The LGBTQ plus representation, like there's a lot of good stuff in here, and the basic premise is really cool, and I love the ending, but the ending made me wish that we got more romance in it, because I was just very invested in Jake's love life, and the boy he was crushing on is just, and like I love them together, and I really wish we'd gotten a little bit more of that. But the reason why it's not higher than a 3 for me is just because it's never explained why he has the powers he does or exactly how they work. He's just able to do, I don't want to like spoil anything, but he's able to do a lot of things by the end of the book that like he didn't know how to do, but it's still not really clear like what they are. And I don't know, just like the whole like ghost, like fighting these ghosts, like your soul leaves your body and you can like fly around, and like it was just very confusing and kind of weird and kind of almost too like fantasy for me. So yeah, it had its ups and downs for sure, but I mean overall I'm still glad I read it. And then for the last like hour and a half, I have been reading Final Girls by Riley Sager. I had been at 22%, I think, and now I'm up to 42%, and I'm really loving it. I truly have no idea where it's going. We are following Quincy, and Quincy is the sole survivor of, I forget what there's like a name for the event. You know how like the media will like come up with a name for it, like the cabin murders or something like that. Whatever the equivalent of that is, where her and her friends had gone to a cabin for one of her friends' birthdays, and you know, everyone ended up getting stabbed to death except for our main character Quincy, who managed to escape, and that's why she's the final girl. So we follow her, and then between every couple chapters we have a flashback to the night of the murders, and it goes like chronologically. So it started at like 3 p.m. or something, and now we're like around dinner time, but it's pretty infrequent, and it's just like a page and a half. And so I really like that as well. Like the fact that it's flashing between present day and like the past, I think is just done really well. And there's just a lot of kind of creepy stuff going on, a lot of stuff that it's like, you know, are you who you say you are kind of thing, which if you've watched like my wrap-ups before, like that whole concept in thrillers, like I'm a sucker for that. It really creeps me out. The basic premise of the book is that you're following Quincy, and she has, you know, moved on from that. She lives in New York with her boyfriend, and she runs a baking blog, and there's 3 final girls that are all kind of grouped together. They were each the sole survivor of like a tragedy, and they kind of know of each other, but they're not like besties or anything. And very early on in the book, one of them, our main character finds out, died, and it seems like it was suicide. The other final girl, who our main character hadn't connected with, she had talked a couple times to the one who supposedly had killed herself. The other final girl randomly shows up at our main character's like door basically, and like wants to connect with her. And so that's kind of the premise, is it's like maybe her past isn't, you know, as far behind her as she thought. Why is this lady reconnecting with her right now? Like there's just a lot of suspicious things going on. So that's basically the premise, and I'm just loving it. I just know there's gonna be some twists, but I have no idea what they're gonna be, but I can like sense it, you know, and I'm trying to like scope it out. But as of right now, I'm like literally everyone, like I don't trust anyone. So I'm like, I don't trust this cop guy, I don't trust this other lady, like the other final girl, I don't trust our main character's boyfriend, like I don't trust anybody. So anyway, it's really, really good. That's the moral of the story. So unless something super notable happens in the book, I think I will just check in with you tomorrow morning, and I'm hoping that by like late morning I can be finished with Final Girls. That would be really cool. I also haven't listened to any of the Emergency Contact audiobook, and I would like to finish that because my audiobook is due back to the library through the Libby app in 2 days. So that's a priority for tomorrow too. And then I really am in the mood to read Thornhill. So anyway, we'll see. These clips, it's already been like 11 minutes. I don't understand. These clips end up being so long, but okay. That's enough from me. I'm gonna read some more and then go to bed. And I'll check in with you tomorrow. Hello. I feel like we're at a sleepover. I just woke up. I unexpectedly couldn't really sleep until like 2:30 in the morning. So I made some really good progress with Final Girls. I think I'm like almost 60% of the way through now. And it's just so good. Like, I can't even, I don't know, like there's just so many like potential plot twists that are getting like threaded through everything, and it's just so well done. It's about 9 in the morning, and I'm going to get up and make breakfast, and I think I'll listen to the Emergency Contact audiobook while I do that, because I really do want to finish that today. I have like 5 hours left of the readathon, so anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. And then, oh my god, I'll check back in with you. Bye. Hello, it is like 12:45, I think. Just made some lunch. Got a everything bagel with avocado and sriracha, and it's gonna be amazing. I just finished listening to Emergency Contact, which I have been listening to for I think at least a solid month, and I don't know why it took me that long, but I really loved it. 5 stars. I cannot wait to read more Mary H.K. Choi. I won't go too much into detail about it because I am doing a separate reading vlog for Mary H.K. Choi books, but just wanted to update you that I finished that. And I have about 30 pages of Final Girls left. So after I eat, I'm gonna finish that and then I will let you know my thoughts. Unless something like happens in the next 30 pages that is just like really like not the vibe, it's a 5-star read. Definitely one of my favorite thrillers I've read. It is so good. So I'm really excited to finish that. So I'm gonna eat and then I will check back in with you. There's a lot going on in this last like 20 pages. Oh my god. Wow. Oh my god, I only have 5 pages left, but whew, that second to last chapter, the ending is just like ultimate girl boss vibes. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's finish it. That's a 5-star read right there. That is a 5-star read. I think it's gonna make me drop Emergency Contact down to a 4. Just because like finishing 2 5-star reads on the same day, like this one's way more of a 5-star than Emergency Contact. But anyway, wow, wow, wow. I like how I'm holding it up as if the cover's here. I'll put a picture up here. I loved that. That was so good. I think it has mixed reviews. I'm really interested to go on Goodreads and see what people are saying, because sometimes it's like, if you really love a book or you really don't love a book, you can still get why people like think the opposite of you. But I honestly like, I don't know what people's complaints of this book would be, so I'm really interested to see what's going on with that. But I absolutely loved it. But I really need to get my hands on a physical copy and loan it to everybody that I know. I have had good luck with Riley Sager. I feel like he's kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. This is the 3rd thing I've read by him, by far my favorite. I have also read Lock Every Door and Home Before Dark. And Home Before Dark I listened to, And so I don't think I really got as much out of it. It was one of those instances where I do feel like I missed a lot of things by listening to it. So I do want to reread that at some point. But I did enjoy it. I think it was like a 3-star for me. But Lock Every Door, I think, was a 4. I really, really loved Lock Every Door. But this one is just on another level. And it makes me scared because I'm like, do I keep going? Obviously, I'm going to keep going with more Riley Sager. I have a physical copy of Survive the Night. But I don't know if anything's going to top this, you know? The themes of this, like, I've heard this is like a good, like, girl boss time, but it was more than I could have hoped for, especially coming from a male author. Like, stunning female characters, complex, but like badass isn't, I can't find words to express. I don't know. And then the whole, like, it had just such an interesting, like, take on, you know, the final girl situation where it's like, if you survive something horrific like this and the world knows about it, you are forever famous for something that was so traumatic to you and you're constantly reminded of it. And so it goes, like, the psychological toll that takes, I think, was a really interesting component of this. And also just sexism. Like, there's so much kind of very subtle discussion on, like, toxic masculinity and just how our society views women in a bunch of different contexts. And it just blows my mind that this wasn't written by a woman. It absolutely blows my mind. But, oh, it was just so good. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. If you have not read Final Girls, or if you like thrillers like I do, I would definitely recommend Final Girls. It was something else, and I just had the best time reading it. So, anyway, I think I'm gonna sit and process my thoughts for a while, and update my Goodreads and stuff, and then I'll check back in with you guys. Alright, I'm back. After some deliberation and just, like, mental processing, I have decided to just end the vlog here. I only have, like, 35 minutes left of the readathon anyway, so I could, like, read a graphic novel in that time, but I really want to just, like, sit with Final Girls. So we're gonna end it here. I think this was a very successful readathon. I read Fangs, 5-star graphic novel, super cute werewolf vampire romance. Yeah. I read The Taking of Jake Livingston, 3 stars. I think I just didn't realize that it was going to be horror fantasy, and if I had known that, I could have adjusted my expectations more, because I'm not a big fantasy person, and I probably wouldn't have picked it for a 24-hour readathon. I definitely think I would have still read it, but I wouldn't have, like, read it all in one day. But yeah, still a worthwhile read just for, like, the topics that they cover as well. Then I finished Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. 4-star contemporary, really good. I am so excited to pick up her other 2 books. She just writes, like, her character, which is a complaint I've heard from people, is that her characters are very unlikable, and I love that. I didn't find Sam and Penny in this unlikable, but they're definitely not perfect, and they have their flaws, and I really love that because I feel like it makes it more realistic, and it was just, it was so good. So I think I'll pick up Permanent Record next because I wanted to go in publication order. But yeah, really, really good. It reminded me of why I love YA contemporary so much. And then last but not least, we have Final Girls, which this was just something. And you know when you read those books and, like, as you're reading it, you know that it's just one of those books that's gonna stick with you, and it's one of those books that reminds you of why you love reading so much, because you're always looking for that next book that's gonna make you feel that way. That's what Final Girls did to me. I feel like I'm like such in the reading mood now. Like, I just want to read everything because that book reminded me of how great reading is. I am going to link Caitlin from the channel Kate Literature down below, her video where she read Final Girls, because she seemed to like it for the same reasons that I did. We both gave it 5 stars, and her thoughts on it, like at the end of the video when she finished it, are just so coherent. It's just like everything that I'm struggling to put into words, she puts into words really eloquently. So I'm gonna link that below because she definitely kind of encapsulates everything that I felt about this book. That is it for this video. If you made it until the end, put a phone emoji or like a telephone, something related to that, since that kind of relates to emergency contact. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who has been putting emojis in the chat, because sometimes it's like I watch booktube videos, and especially like my booktube friends videos, and sometimes I don't always have something to say, but I want to have them know that I watched it and I enjoyed it and all that kind of stuff. So I usually end up just leaving like a heart emoji in their comments. And yeah, so I just kind of want to normalize that. That's kind of my goal with this emoji thing. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. I hope you are having an amazing spooky season so far, because we all deserve it. Bye! I literally think because I'm filming in front of a window right now, because that's where the good lighting is, and when I went like this, my neighbor was in his truck driving away, and I think he thought that I was waving at him. So, love that for me.